Hi everybody, this is Book-Ass Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Legends Death's Head 2 action figure. So before we take a look at Death's Head 2, let's take a look at the only accessory that he comes with. So he comes with an alternate left hand, which is pointing, or signaling like, come over here. I think it's from one of the covers of Death's Head 2. I could be wrong, but this hand's hard to get off. I do have some gaps in my collection of Death's Head comics, so it could be from one of the ones that I don't have. So there's that. See, it could either be pointing or signaling like, come here. It's not the greatest accessory. I mean, I would have just preferred him to come with no accessories, because this hand is very loose, as you can see. Like, it turns very easily, like there's no resistance at all. So let's go ahead and pop this back off there. And I'll just put that to the side because that's not my favorite accessory. I like just leaving him with this hand on. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt for Death's Head 2. So the head sculpt for Death's Head 2 is amazing. I really like it. There's just a lot of detail on it. Like on his dome here, it's got that shimmery silver to it. And his skull actually has that marbleization going on the gold plastic there. And the muscle and everything looks very, very nice. Muscle and bones painted pretty good. And if you look really, really close, it's kind of pixelated. And why it's kind of pixelated is because of this uses that printing tech on his hair, or on his head right here. It's also used on his hair too. I suppose it's supposed to kind of be like dreads. Kind of reminds me of the Predator in a way. But his hair looks very nice. And you can tell that it has that printing tech on it. With that, I don't know what color you'd call it. Kind of a really light pink over top of the red there. But that looks very nice. I just think the head sculpt looks really good. I think both eyes came out pretty clean as well. Like how it has that red around his eyes. Looks pretty good. I just can't get over all the detail right there in his muscles. It's pretty awesome. And now his body reuses a lot of the pieces from Colossus. I will show them side by side here. You can tell that they use the same torso, the same arms, the same biceps. From the bicep down though, or I should say from the elbow down, it's new. But the hands, I guess the hands aren't the same. They kind of look like it though. Actually, what they might have done is just inverted this hand, like did a mirror image of it to make this one, because these look awfully the same. Like I said, they could have just been like a mirror image, just flipped it to make this hand, because they do look similar. But I think it was a pretty brilliant reuse. I mean, if you haven't really got this Colossus in your collection, or just don't know what body mold this is, you really couldn't tell that it was Colossus. But I really love that metallic blue. It's really awesome. It has a little bit of shimmer to it as well. If you look in the light there, you can see the shimmer to it. And on his cannon, because his right arm is a cannon, it looks very, very nice. I like how it has that kind of gunmetal color, and then it fades into the silver. It looks pretty good. I'm just a huge fan of this figure. I hadn't been able to find it anywhere, but my local comic store, one of the new comic stores that opened in my area, actually sells action figures, and I was able to get this, so I was very happy. There's his other arm. Now his belt is a separate piece, and usually I have such a problem with figures when they have a belt and it's a separate piece. But it actually stays attached to his waist, because it kind of is right here, then goes up on his waist. But it doesn't hinder the articulation, and it doesn't shift back and forth. As you can see, it looks like his hair and has that dry brushing of pink, or that printing of pink over it, I should say, because this is using that printing tech. I wonder if this is the first Marvel Legend that used that printing tech. I think it might be. But that looks pretty good. And then down here, the boots are drastically different from Colossus's. Yes, they are different. I was just making sure before I said that. But they look pretty good. I like how he has these weird spike things. Kind of reminds me of the Darkness. How he has these protruding from his armor. Kind of reminds me of that. But, yep, that looks pretty cool. So, I think that's about all to go over with this figure. I mean, there's his alternate hand, but that's not much. So, I think that it's time to go over the articulation. So, he can't move his head back at all, but he can move his head all the way down. And he can move his head side to side. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can move out all the way. He has swivel at the bicep, single-jointed elbows, which kind of surprised me. Kind of surprised me with Colossus, too, that he didn't have double-jointed elbows. But both of these figures have single-jointed elbows. He's got an ab crunch that can move back all the way and down all the way. And he has swivel at the waist that can move side to side. And as you can see, it's soft enough that it doesn't hinder his articulation at all. He has ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward just a little bit and can't kick back at all. He has swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, swivel at the boot, or swivel at the shin, I should say. I think this is all one piece. I don't think this is actually a boot. But he has swivel at the shin, swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. So the articulation is pretty good. I don't have any complaints about it. And now he's going to be out of frame here if I try to do some size comparisons. So I will just have to pan up and show him next to some other characters. Now, I finally have all the Mantis series. And I do agree that this should have been the Build-A-Figure. Because he's just really hefty. He's pretty hefty. Especially with this huge cannon arm. And he's tall, too. So for my size comparisons, I've got a few figures to show next to him. Because he has crossed over to a lot of characters. Like, he actually started out in Transformers when Marvel was making those. I should have gotten an Optimus Prime out, but I don't even know where my Transformers are actually at. So, first up, we have him next to Captain Britain. Because Death's Head 2 was actually part of the Marvel UK imprint. So, he crossed over with quite a few of the Marvel UK characters. So, there he is next to Captain Britain. And Captain Britain is just a little bit shorter than him. He does use the Hyperion body mold. Up next, here he is next to Captain America. He has crossed over with Captain America before. And he's still taller than him. And for my next few size comparisons, here he is next to the X-Men. Some of the 90s X-Men. In the 90s, he crossed over with the X-Men too. So, I think I can only get 2 in the frame at the time. Or maybe just 1. But there he is next to Cyclops. Here he is next to Wolverine. Which, this Wolverine isn't correct in scale because he should be way shorter than he is. But this is still my favorite Wolverine in my collection. And up next, here he is next to Rogue. Because there's a cover of Death's Head 2 where it's him versus Rogue and Gambit. I'll have to hold her up. But there he is next to her. And finally, for the final size comparison, here he is next to Gambit. This is the box set Gambit, not the regular version. But there he is next to Gambit. So overall, I would highly recommend this figure. I've been a fan of Death's Head for quite a while. There's actually Death's Head 1 and Death's Head 2. As I said, this is Death's Head 2. But I was a fan of the series for quite some time. And I think he's even crossed over with like the Guardians of the Galaxy and Darkhawk recently. He crossed over with Darkhawk in Infinity Countdown Darkhawk. So he's kind of one of those Marvel Legends that can fit into any display. He can fit into X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, or Cosmic I should say. You can fit him in Spider-Man. Basically, he'd even fit in with Transformers, so you can fit him in anywhere. So I would highly recommend this figure. So, if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.